catching up with Roseville's new fire chief after a long career in Phoenix. Hi, I'm Steve Swat for Comcast Newsmakers. We're coming to you from the venerable Tower Theater in Roseville. Thanks for joining us. And thanks also to the new fire chief, Rick Bartee, for joining us. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So you have quite a resume, 34 years in Phoenix, and your specialty really was Homeland Security, counterterrorism.
Yeah, coming from a city as size of Phoenix where they host major events such as Super Bowls and have conventions there that are at such a large size, there came a time where they looked at where the Homeland Security, fire, and police needed to work closer together. And so we created a bureau in Phoenix called the Homeland Security Bureau.
And I know you spent much of your career working on these issues.
Oh, I've been as a part of the city of Phoenix for 34 years, and I was a chief officer for over 20 years. In the last 10 years, when we started up the Homeland Defense Bureau, I was the chief officer over the Homeland Defense Bureau, working alongside with my police counterparts, the assistant chiefs for Phoenix PD, planning for those events and educating firefighters and police officers on Homeland Security issues.
Now, Phoenix is the 6th largest city in the U.S., what, 1.5 million people. Now you're in Roseville, where it's like the 200th largest city. Are the challenges completely different, or are there some similar challenges?
There's similar challenges. You know, when you look at how police and fire need to work closely together to combat issues such as Homeland Security, or fire departments are all the same. You know, they should have the same issues, it's just on a smaller scale, dealing with fire prevention, emergency medical services, and just making sure firefighters are trained and have the tools and equipment they need to do their job.
So looking forward, your top priorities here in Roseville would be what, do you think?
I like to look forward to maintaining the skills and the experience levels that we have here in Roseville. We're going to have a little bit of a turnover. You know, only having 120 personnel as opposed to 1,600 personnel how we had in Phoenix. You know, 10 folks leaving within a year or so as far as retirement goes, that's a big turnover for us and loss of experience. So to be able to ramp up the training and exercises we need to do and make sure they have the equipment they need to do their job is going to be important for this fire department.
You mentioned one challenge, which is replacing some folks who are leaving. Any other particular challenges that you see here? Budgetary issues that might crop up? I understand, I think the tax revenues have declined the last year.
Tax revenues have declined, but how that affects the fire department is mostly in whether or not we'll be able to replace the equipment that we have now. Some of the fire engines and the ladder trucks that they have here are timing out as far as getting older, and they need to be replaced. Another part of that is Roseville's growing. You know, if we don't have the budget to be able to hire more firefighters to keep up with that growth, we'll be increasing our response times. The west side of the city already has grown so much where they moved the fire station to the west, but they created a gap near the middle of the city there where response times have gotten longer because of that gap.
So of course managing growth and an improved budget situation go hand in hand.
Exactly.
Right?
They go hand in hand, but there's ways that we can be more efficient with how we use our time and how we use the equipment that we have. And the firefighters here are so dedicated to wanting to be the best that they can be. Being able to train while on duty and not so much off duty will help us.
I can imagine one of your top priorities, like it is just about everywhere, is home fire prevention, because we hear so many stories about you know, people who die in home fires. It's because either their smoke alarms don't work or they didn't have them.
Exactly, exactly. Which is one step that we took here recently in the last month, where we've hired a full-time PIO, fire prevention specialist as far as education goes. And she's actually moving far ahead to be able to get us to the point where we're going to learn a lot more about how we can help the city and get out there and be part of it.
All right, Chief Bartee, thank you very much for coming by. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thanks to our viewers for watching Comcast Newsmakers from Roseville. I'm Steve Swat. We'll see you next time.